Hello, Gail here again. It's been a couple of weeks since I last talked to you and I'm feeling much better now, much more my old self, and I'm going to get straight in to showing you what I've bought over the past few weeks. So I bought some fabulous cerise fabric. I just couldn't resist the colour. I bought a yard of that. I bought a pack of fat quarters. No idea why, just like them. Oh, I bought some gorgeous material from my lady, and I've no idea where she gets it from. I bought this. No idea what I'm going to do with it, but it's gorgeous. And then she started selling these. I think they're linen, cotton and silk mixes. Look at that. Do you know, I have bought in the past an awful lot of ties, silk ties, and maybe I'll do something with the ties and these materials. They're gorgeous, they feel so lovely. I'll make something special with those. And I bought a sari, second-hand sari material that has a broad stripe of this colour on one end. I'm going to try, my plan is to make a dress or at least a skirt with that sometime in the summer maybe. I have bought crochet cottons. This is what I do my quilting with, my quilting stitches, or embroidery thread. Oh, I'm getting through my embroidery thread now. 15 different colours. Sorry about the crinkling. They're gorgeous, aren't they? And I've bought some of this material. I don't know what this is. Let's see if it says on the side. It says it is Studio Fabrics Butterfly Bliss. There's no butterflies in it, is there? I don't know, but it's gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. That will go. That goes quite nice actually with that one, doesn't it? Lovely. And I've bought, this is stuff that I pre-ordered in April maybe, and it gets brought over to England, especially because I order it, and I've decided I'm going to try and stop doing that because you know, it's not environmentally friendly. Isn't that lovely? It's peacocks, it's bright, it's gorgeous. I've got a metre of that. That will go in some quilt somewhere. And I got a panel, a matching panel. Now, I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, and I really don't know what I'm going to do with it. I think I might just chop it up and treat it as if it's material. And you see that? Because usually panels go in the middle of a quilt or used as a wall hanging, and I don't really want it hanging on my wall, and I don't want it in the middle of a quilt, so I think I might just cut it up. And I've got another panel here. I've decided not to buy any more panels. I've got hundreds of them and I really don't know what to do with them. Apart from making baby quilts, this isn't really suitable for a baby quilt. It's gorgeous though. It's a tree. Isn't that gorgeous? Be ashamed to cut it up. I might sell it. Might sell it on. But this is a pre-order as well. Last year I ordered that, and you know, when they get here you think, ooh, lovely, but why did I order it? I know why I ordered this. This material goes with that panel, but I ordered this. Well, there's two things I could do with it. I could cut the strips out and border a quilt with that, but what I think I'm going to do is make Kaleidoscope blocks out of those, where you cut, suppose this bit, you cut a triangle of that, and you cut many of the same triangle, 6 or 8, and then you sew them all together, and it's like a kaleidoscope. So I've got them. I've also bought this. This was from a D-Stash group. It's to make soft blocks and a big ball for a baby. So I think, being as it's pinky, I'll make that for my granddaughter, because I now have a granddaughter and 2 grandsons. I bought a panel, no, not a panel, a pattern. That's by Sewing Quarter, and I really wanted it when Sewing Quarter was a functioning TV channel, but they didn't sell a pattern on its own, or if they did, I never saw it, and I bought the pattern on its own now, so that would be nice for Christmas. And I think that might be, oh no, I've got this. This is some grunge. Let's get it out of the plastic bag. I love grunge, but this grunge has got gold in it. Can you see? Can you see it flecking? It's metallic. I didn't know grunge came in metallics, so I couldn't resist that, could I? And I bought this, and I think this is going to be the frame on my peacock wall hanging. And I've got to have that done by the 9th of March, I think it is. So you might be going to get to see that soon, because the 9th of March seems to be looming nearby, looming nearer and nearer. Somewhere. Oh, it's here. I have got, I'll show you a bit more of the embroidery. Appliqué I'm doing for the middle of the quilt that I cut up. I've been doing a bit more of that, so that's where I'm up to at the moment. I'm not really feeling like wanting to sew. I've been doing a lot of crochet. I'm halfway through a crochet blanket, which is turning out stunning. Not the ones I bought the pattern for. This is one I just saw the pattern and I thought, woo, that's gorgeous. So I looked online and found out how to create it. It's a very simple pattern. It's just, if you know crocheting, it's just a double and a chain, a double and a chain, and then on the next row you do the double, and you do the double into the previous row's chain. Oh, it's gorgeous, especially when you use lots of different colours. I'm using 12 different colours and it's looking out really nice. So in a couple of weeks I might be able to show you that, and we'll be all nice and cosy in the living room and making that for me. So I think have I shown you these? I got these a few weeks ago, maybe just before Christmas. Now these are Furnishing Fabrics, but they're just so gorgeous, aren't they? How could I not buy those? They're very thick. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I might make a quilt, or I might make some, I might cover my dining chairs in them. I like this one. They're gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to do with them, but they're gorgeous, and I'm just surrounded with gorgeous things, really. You can see a bit of gorgeous things behind me, and that's the neat section. I am feeling a little bit dismal with the amount of mess in here. I know I've got to tidy it up, but I don't want to tidy it up. I'm too lazy. I'm thinking I must tidy it up, and I'm thinking, no, I'll do some sewing. I don't think I've shown you this, have I? This came before Christmas, and before Christmas I had to tidy up in the living room before I was ill, and that meant putting all my things into bags and bringing them into the shed, and I forgot I'd had it. Anyway, this is what does it say it is? It's Fanciful Forest by Moda. I like Moda. So it's got lots of lovely colours in it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'll make a quilt probably, because that's generally what I do, is make quilts. I like quilts. I've got 3 quilts on my bed at the moment because it's cold and wintry. Oh, which reminds me, my display behind, you know, I'm going to put quilts up. Husband has devised a plan. I have bought giant clips to clip the quilts onto the thing he's going to put up. I've got those. He's just not done it yet. There's a lot of things that he's not done yet. He likes to take his time, you know. He's a fairly typical man. But eventually, I've got the equipment, so I'm sure it'll get done at some point, and then you'll be able to see quilts behind me. The fabric I was just showing you, I've got a jelly roll as well. So so I'll be able to make quite a big quilt. And I got some matching fabric. Here's some matching, and here's some more matching. So it's going to be very bright and summery. I'll make a nice summery quilt, I suppose, with that. I'd forgotten I had that. That was a nice surprise when I came across it. Yeah, it's all a bit messy in here now. I can see the mess behind me. I can see behind me on the camera. It looks nice and neat, but it's pretty messy. I'm going to have tidy up. When I've tidied up, I'll show you all around. But that probably won't be till the summer because there's a lot of sorting out to do. It's a bit beyond me, really. I'm not very good at tidying. And then once I've tidied, I don't know where anything is. And I have lots of things like this, you see, half-used bundles. I mean, where am I going to put that? I could put it in a box, but then I'll never see it again. And one day I'll get it out and think, oh, I didn't know that was there. Anyway, what have I done this past couple of weeks? Not done very much, really. I've been crocheting, buying, seeing my grandson and my granddaughter, chatting to my other grandson on the phone. Well, he doesn't talk because he's only a few months old, but I chat. I chat to his mum. Decided to cut the apple tree down. You've heard on previous videos that the apples thousands of apples grow on this apple tree. I planted an apple seed into a yoghurt pot when I was at school when I was 7, and it grew. And it grew big enough to plant into the garden, and so we planted it into the garden when I was little. And then when we moved house, which was probably 4 years later, we dug it up and we put it in a pot and we took it to my gran's, because we lived in my gran's for 4 months in between houses. And then we took it to our new house and planted it in the garden there. So that was when I was 12 or so, and I got married and left when I was 19, I think. I think I was nearly 20. So that stayed growing at that house 8 years. And then we brought it here. And I've lived here ever since I got married. So we've lived here 40 years now. And I planted it when I was 7. So it's quite a long time. I'm not telling you how old I am, but it's a few decades. Anyway, it grows masses of apples, and it's taller than the house probably. We've had it trimmed, it just keeps growing. And all the apples fall down and, you know, just about miss hitting you. And then they're all over the floor, and we leave them on the floor for the animals. It's an animal friendly garden. That's what we like to call it. And you do see some very interesting eating patterns. Some of them are munched, so I think that must be hedgehogs. Some of them are pecked, birds. Some of them are pecked in a very precise manner. They must be tidy birds, I suppose, or birds with long beaks, because they do go down quite a bit. Anyway, and then we leave them there, and they, what do? They turn into garden soil food. Is that a good way of putting it? I can't think of the word. Compost, that's what they do. They compost down and they feed our grass. Anyway, this time of year our grass is just applesauce grass, mud. Messy. We're not gardeners. Anyway, we've decided to cut the tree down. I am feeling a bit sad about it. You know, I've had it since I was 7. But it's just too big. It's blocking the signal to our sky dish. Which, you know, is pretty annoying. Although it has got me watching YouTube. And it's just too big. So we've decided we're going to cut it down. My husband is one for not paying other people to do things. So he's decided he's going to cut a branch off and then cut another branch off until it's got no branches, and then start on the trunk. And hopefully we'll be able to cut them into slices and use them some way as a garden path. Please write a comment if you know how to make a garden path out of slices of tree, because you know, I figure they'll rot. I don't really want them to rot. Anyway, we'll have a path for a year or so, I suppose. And then we'll have a bit of spare garden, and I've already got my mind on another tree that doesn't grow that big. It doesn't create apples, and it will be pretty if it manages to grow. Got a lot of things in our garden, you know, we've got drains and things. Not everywhere you can plant a tree, and we're not going to pull the roots out, I don't think. My husband's too old for doing that kind of thing now, so we can't plant it in the same hole. We had a tree removed once, and they came and did something with the tree base and roots. They churned it all up into little bits and everything, and in fact, that's under my shed. So if I sink one day, it's because of that, because of the mulched up tree. Although, you know, I'm not just planted onto a mulched up tree. We have got concrete and stuff underneath. Anyway, that's a decision we've made over the last 2 weeks, is we're going to cut down the poor old apple tree, because, you know, the apples aren't edible. I used to worry about, why did my mum buy me such horrible apples? Why did I eat them? Only I found out that if you plant a seed, a pip, out of an apple, it doesn't grow back into that make of apple. You know, if it was a gala apple, it wouldn't grow back into a gala. It reverts to a generic kind of apple. And when you buy trees that are certain makes, because they're grown in a certain way by the people who know how, and then they graft it onto a stalk, a tree base. Which is probably why the pear tree, which was bought from, you know, a pear tree growers, has very nice edible pears on it. My gran gave me that when we got married, so I've had that 40 years as well. That needs a bit of a trim. It's a bit kind of a wild thing. And we have a pretty horrible bush as well that is the only reason we have it is because bees kind of use it as a beehive. When you go outside, you can hear them buzzing. They don't bother us. We could be up there having a good old look at them and poking around. They are too busy on the flowers of that bush, because it's on the top of the loggia. But the loggia's a bit rotten. We need to sort that out, and we'll have to do it in the winter, so as not to disturb all those bees. They're just on there until the flowers are gone. Months they're there, like a carpet of bees. I don't like going underneath it, because sometimes, you know, spiders come down on webby bits. It's a bit scary. Everything really, when you've been somewhere 40 years, everything's rotten by now. We need to do a lot of work, but, you know, 40 years on from being 19 when I got married, you're a bit old for doing all that, aren't you? A bit old and creaky, not full of energy. That's why I'd rather sew than tidy up, really. It's a sad old state of affairs, isn't it? But the sky's blue. Ha! No cloud today. It's freezing cold, mind, but, you know, sun's out. Birds are tweeting. Can't complain, really. Anyway, I'm going to go now and see if I can do a bit of tidying up. If I manage to do a little bit, I'll be very pleased with myself. If I don't, if I give up and just go and sew, I'll probably be eating a tub of ice cream later. That's not going to do anybody any good, is it? Especially not me. Anyway, I'll leave you to it. Oh, if you like my video, can you give me a thumbs up? Share to your friends. Get me out there, you know, so I'm not just talking to myself. I know there's some of you that like to listen. And hello to you. And I'll see you soon. Probably a week, maybe 2. And I'll pop back and update you on what's going on so far. Bye.